I think it was about my second lesson. He turned to me and he said, "One day you'll play for England." And I just laughed. And he said, no, he said, "I'm serious." I was a competitive swimmer when I was a teenager. I was junior champion, senior champion, swam for Northumberland. I had English trials but didn't make it. My mother, who was a very wise woman, she said, you're playing a little bit of golf, and why don't you just play golf rather than continue with the swimming, because it's such a young sport. At that moment in time, I think I was 16, I played a bit of golf, and John Jacobs came to Newcastle and he opened a golf range. And I was stepped into it as a job in the golf range. I think it was about my second lesson. He turned to me and he said, "One day you'll play for England." And I just laughed. And he said, no, he said, "I'm serious." And when I won the British Open in '76, he wrote me such a lovely letter saying, "I knew you'd play for England, but you've gone one better and won the British Open." And I was just fortunate that I stepped into things and I did well in the right events. And I got onto the Curtis Cup team, the English team, and then went on to turn pro. And it wasn't a plan, it was just something that just really happened. I just fell into it. I had a guy who came forward and sponsored me to go to the qualifying school in the LPGA, and without his help I couldn't have afforded to go. I went with two other girls. They didn't get their cards, I did get my cards, so I was the only one out on tour at that point. And this chap opened a bank account for me, and I played about 6 events, tried to enter a tournament, and the cheque bounced. So I was stuck out in the States, had no money. My mother, bless her soul, wired me some money into this bank account, so I was able to stay out there. When I turned pro and got my card in the States, it was a massive step from amateur golf in the UK to professional golf in America. But there was no other tour. But when the sponsorship came through, I was playing on the LPGA tour in America, got my card in '77, played a full year in '78. But when the first tournament was arranged for '79, I promised that I would come back and play the rest of the year in the LET tour. I just wanted to support the LET. There were so few girls who were professionals then, and it was important that we had the best possible numbers and the best players to go out there and create this very new thing. It was amazing, and even although that I think it was about £30,000 that first year for 10 events or 12 events, and my first winner's cheque I think was £200. So it wasn't a fortune that we were playing for, but it was great to be out there and start that tour off. And it's gone from strength to strength since then. The money was a tough thing, very tough, and some of the girls couldn't make a living. They never had caddies, as they do now. A lot of golf clubs didn't have great practice facilities. We would get to the tournament site and not being able to practice or not be allowed on the course, or ladies weren't allowed in that part of the clubhouse at that point. Sometimes it was quite difficult. I remember we had one tournament, I think it was in Valbonne in France, and we got there not knowing even if the sponsor had put the money in the bank, so we didn't even know whether we'd have a purse to pay for. We had a tournament in Ireland once, and it was through the Irish Tourist Board. Barry Edwards, who ran the tour then, and another girl, Muriel Thompson, and I were selected to do an interview in central Belfast, and it was when the Troubles were on. And the whole week the tournament was on, we had helicopters and things flying over the golf course to making sure that everything was okay, And we went down to Belfast to do this interview. Barry said that he knew the way, so we were sat in the car, and all of a sudden we were right in the middle of Falls Road where all the Troubles were, and all the shops were boarded up, and it was very, very scary. But it was a great week. The security there, they looked after us so well. The Irish hospitality was absolutely amazing. I think it was in maybe '81, I had a little caravan that I took around and parked in a car park, and would live in the caravan rather than be in a hotel, because that was really expensive and you couldn't afford it. And I was fortunate that I represented Ping, so even in the years that I was leading money winner, I couldn't have survived on the money that I made from tour events. And every tournament you won, Ping took the same putter that you played with, and they gold plated them, and we were presented with the putters at the end of the season. So I've actually got a case at home with 12 gold putters in, which are my pride and joy. I was leading money winner in '81 and '82. The special thing that was not so much on the tour, but I played in 2 Curtis Cup events as an amateur. The second one in 1976, we played at Royal Lytham, and the Queen was asked to come and present the trophy but couldn't come because it was the Trooping of the Colour. So both teams were invited to Buckingham Palace with an audience with the Queen, the late Elizabeth II, which was absolutely amazing. Golf was not really a women's type sport, and even from being quite young, as I'd played golf, and the girls at school would say, "What, you play golf? That's a weird thing to do." But it's a great sport, and I, loved being part of that, and loved being part of the founder members and being out there that first year and going to tournaments and creating something, because we were the trailblazers really, and that was fantastic. Somebody asked me just not long ago, would I have preferred to be out there now? And I said, no, not really. Although the money is so much better, but it wasn't all about money. It was just about the friendship that we all had, the 30 girls that we ate together, we stayed together, we played together, practiced together, and it was fantastic. It really, really does not seem 45 years. So much has happened since then, but it's been fantastic. I mean, golf has been my life for so long. Not any longer. I've got a bit of a wonky finger and can't play anymore, but other things take priority. I've got 5 grandchildren and dogs that take up a lot of my time. It's certainly come a long, long way. It's nothing like it was when I was out there. And I attended the Ladies British Open last year, which was absolutely incredible. The standard of golf is so high. The girls are doing so well in the Solheim Cup and winning, and British girls are winning on the LPGA, and it's just absolutely fantastic. It's just gone from strength to strength. It's just a different game out there now, and I probably would enjoy it if I was playing such good golf as I did in those years of 81 and 82. Yes, that would be a little bit different, and I'd probably be earning a lot more money, but it was great to be part of it then.